So, we've done our ads, we've done our landing page, and now what we want to do is to know if what we've done on our landing page is relevant. We can do it with A/B testing. For instance, we could choose. We could decide to change the text, the log line, and see which one is works the best. And you just realize that at this stage we haven't spent one penny in terms of production. I haven't hired any actors. I haven't written anything. I'm just testing my ideas. Okay. And now we're going to try to analyze our landing page. So do you know what a heat map is? Yes. So why is it useful? Here, for instance, it's not a real heat map. It's a tool that is based on it's an algorithm that shows you where people are clicking or watching. You can see that there's an issue with this visual. The eyes in the human, when you see a face in an ad, when you see many objects, you first watch faces. It's what you see at first, and the other thing that you see are eyes. So what we do usually when we do advertisement is that we try to have the eye looking at you when you want to do art because it's catching, or we want the eye to look at something where I want to click. So if it was my thing to do, I would test two things. I'm sure that Netflix, I imagine that they tested a few different landing pages. This one worked better than the others, but I would have liked to test something with the girl watching at the call to action. The call to action is the button. So using a heat map enables you to detect text that is never read, or things that distracts your audience from watching your good content. And what we call the folder. The folder is the bottom of the screen. You've got to scroll down. Usually with the heat maps, if you use WordPress, do you use WordPress? Yes. In WordPress, you've got a plugin called Sumomi that enables you to have a heat map, and it allows you to see where your audience are scrolling. So do they go down? Do you watch? Do they read your text or not? And this is really, really important because most of the time, I mean, at least for me, you realize that something that you thought obvious because the information was there is not even seen. So this is the heat map. But I was telling you that we've changed our media, and we're going to talk a lot about VR, and you're going to work on VR projects. You have VR projects. One big issue that we have when we do VR is that you don't know where your audience is watching, is looking at. So that's a problem because you've got to save money. You can't build everything, so you can decide to insist in terms of details, in terms of things to do or to watch, based of your knowledge of what your audience is actually doing. We've got tools for that. In which we can have a real overview of the actions. This is the the small thing. It's someone watching, and the blue and red and yellow things are the points, the spots that are watched the most often by your audience. So you know that some places are always overlooked, for instance, and others are very, very, very important for your player or your audience. When you do this, you just realize something that it took me a lot of time to do, is that when you invest money, what I'm going to say is horrible, you want the money to be seen. What do I mean by that? When we did Altmind, we created tons of stuff that nobody even reached. No one. And the big issue with VR is building something huge with a lot of detail and just realizing that no one is going to see it or use it. And using heat maps or deciding to orient your audience to a specific spot will save you a lot of time and money. And sometimes being lazy is a good thing. I'm a champion of laziness, but intelligent laziness.